And I just got the email from AI agent telling that the test that I signed to it is ready for review. And that is the workflow for a lot of people today. They sign tasks and they let the AI agent work on those tasks. In this video, I will share some good tips if you have a WordPress project that can be super helpful for you. And in my project, I'm using AI agents with the WordPress Playground. And that's a really special thing because you are giving to that agent the capability of do the change and see the change running on real time. And for that, I will share some key points in that project that allow me to have that workflow with AI agents integrated with the WordPress Playground. And the first one is a instruction file. And in this case, I'm using agents.md. GitHub Copilot Agents is the platform that I'm using to do that. Recognize that file. Other platforms, for example, Claude use Claude.md and Gemini use Gemini.md. This file will provide more context to the AI model, give the structures about what this project is about and what are the steps to run and test this project. And then we're going to provide some code examples. So here's the file. It's super simple. It's not so long. I have like 189 lines that I just talk about what this project is about, the core principles, the do's and don'ts, code standard, and some code examples. And that's it. So we have the first step ready. The agents know how they should behave. The second part of that flow is connect the playground with that agent. And for that, I will use GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions will allow us for every single change that this model created, prepare our environment to see if those changes are running or not. And to get a better result on that, in that workflow, I will include tests. And for you see how that works, I will just open this file. To understand how that works, I will just go to that workflow. So inside the folder .github/workflows, I have my file with the instructions, and that instructions will be when that flow will be triggered is the first step. And I will set that when someone push the content or when someone create a pull request, that flow will be triggered. And the flow basically is set up an environment with Ubuntu and Node.js, and later on install the project in that environment and run the tests. With that, we have this flow that every single time my agent creates a change and submit a pull request, those steps will be executed. And if everything's fine, that feedback will be provided by the agent. And if something goes wrong, also the agent will know that the change that it didn't went right. And now that we have this flow set, it's just assign to my agent the task that I want it complete. So here I have the issues, and inside issues, I will get a old one that I just created like 21st of September. That was like improving the coding to follow the guidelines for blogs, because that was an old project and 4 years ago, a lot of things changed. I just create that issue well detailed with all the instructions, and I just sign that issue to Copilot. And after that, everything will work in parallel. And once Copilot is done, a pull request will be created with a full descriptions, what were the steps that it takes to do, and also I can see the files, review, and approve if that PR, it was right. So here, I will just check. The PR is still in draft. He requests me for review, and I can just read the information here. And we have some like checkpoints, because those checkpoints I created in the previous issue. And if I'm not happy with that first version, I can also provide feedback. And to provide feedback, I just write a comment, tag Copilot in that, and it will continue work on that project again. And we can have a conversation with like your talk with like a junior developer. And that's a really important thing, because for now, the level, for example, for a Copilot is a junior developer. They're keen to do those tasks, but needs some supervision. It's not something that will fully work autonomously. For sure, you work in parallel, but you need to review, you need to approve, and you need to check if the changes are right or not. And that's also important, the file that we created with the context to provide more context to that agent. And here I see the changes, that all the changes that are made. I can make the review, I can check what went right or not. And one important thing, even like I ask for that agent every single time that creates a new document, also provide a version in English and Portuguese. And as we can see here, it got right. So it provided the guidelines in English and another version in Portuguese and another version in Spanish. And that's super cool because I can just sign tasks that are in my backlog that are not priority, and I can just see that agent work on. And if I'm happy with that, I will just approve and get the task done. And are you using already agents on your project? And are you curious to also use that with WordPress Playground? So if you are curious about that, leave it in the comment box. Another tip as well is some of the base that I used to that workflow is that post from Seth Rubinstein. Was the first time that I saw someone using that integration with GitHub Copilot and WordPress Playground. And that's a really special scenario because you can just see if the chains are working or not. And credits for Seth to make this well-detailed post. I will just leave at the description the link for that post. And thanks for watching and see you next time.